Let's begin sketching our character. Everybody has a different way of how they approach drawing, but these are some of the methods I use to optimize a design for a character that I'm intending to make in 3D. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of my sketching process here. So here I'm just tossing a lot of ideas down here on paper. Now you can't see in this rendered video, but I actually had a grid that I was using, and I'll explain why that's valuable in a second. But what I did to start is I just kind of chose a topic of animals and started working with animals in basic shapes. So because I wanted to create a model that was going to be quick and easy to create, I wanted to start with more primitive shapes so that there wouldn't be much modeling required to get it from the primitive shape to the final character. So you can see that I'm working with a lot of triangles, a lot of squares, and a lot of circles, and I'm not really doing any complex silhouettes or things like that. So when you're designing character, think about contrast. So think about giving them a big body with a little head, and think about giving them a lot of round features with a couple of straight features to add contrast, and that contrast is going to add a lot of visual appeal to your character. And I think that's really important when designing a character, is following design principles but applying them to a character. A lot of people think to make this character more likable, although I was trying to keep them simple for the sake of simplicity of this project, I went ahead and I gave him little tiny legs to go with his big body, and then I actually scrunched up his nose and his eyes into what is more traditionally drawn on a toddler's face to give him almost kind of like a little baby proportions to make him a little more appealing. Big eyes and a little mouth kind of set further up in the head really kind of makes a character more appealing if you're looking for a more cutesy character. So here, which is very important for 3D, you can see that I have picked a character, so I've decided to go with the owl, and this is where the grid comes in handy. So to model based off of our image, we're going to want to draw a front and a side view. So by using a grid, I can line up important features. So you can see that I have the top of the head lined up, and that I can line up the eyes and the beak and the feet to make sure that all those things are in line. And then what we'll do later is we will take these images and we will put them together in post, so that when we switch from front to side view, that these images will be in the background so that we can model on top of those. And that'll make it a lot easier, especially as beginners, for us to model over these sketches. But now we have a front and a side reference, so let's jump into our project so that we can begin modeling with these references in the back.